Dokkanners, welcome back to Tsunami for another video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. In today's video, we are once again pondering the question, what if? What if the transforming Super Saiyan Goku received an EZA? It's in the game. Well, let's dive in and take a look at this unit and what this unit does. Number one, the first thing that obviously stands out is the fact that this is a transforming unit in every sense of the word. 4 transformations, so from Super Saiyan 1, 2, 3, 4. Ultimately, blue is the final form. 4 forms on top of its base form. That is a lost art. That is not a mechanic that is used anymore in this day and age. This is something that is pretty much associated with the transforming Goku, Frieza, and the Vegeta. So these guys are pretty much the only ones that have these multiple transformations. Nowadays, it's basically all about transforming once after a couple turns and then transforming again via an active skill. That's kind of the meta now. So this unit's EZA has to do something that makes this unit worth using over some of the more relevant units. Not totally shattering them and making them completely useless, but obviously bringing back these units into the fold, making them more appealing, making them something that you would want to use. And the one thing that I personally found to be a very glaring weakness in the unit is when you reach the final form, you can no longer stack. These units are kind of tailor-made for stacking events, at least up until the final form. But that's the irritating part for me, is that with the super attack raising attack and defense all the way for the first, second, third, fourth step, the 5th step kind of disappoints and ruins that. So a couple things that I'll be suggesting in this video as far as what this EZA could do to make this unit a lot more relevant, a lot more powerful, and just a lot more fun to use. So number one, let's talk about the leader skill. Super class Ki +3, HP attack and defense +120. This unit's leader skill is basically the culmination of all of the type leader skills as well as the Vegito Blue and the Rose units. So the mono leads were the ones that just gave Ki +3, HP attack and defense +120 to their respective types. Super Int, Extreme AGL, that sort of thing. Then after that, we got what we thought was the pinnacle of the type meta, which was the extreme types or the super types. So they got the same leader skill, Ki +3, HP attack and defense +120%. However, there was a stipulation. You have to make sure every single type is on that team. So if you don't bring one of each super type, you're not going to be able to use this leader skill. So after that, this was the next step in the progression. So this is basically the pinnacle of that one particular mode of leader skill. So it has to be something that is probably emblematic of those leader skills that we have. And so since they all got the 130% treatment with their EZAs, it probably would make sense to give this unit a 130% EZA lead as well. Maybe if they want to make it special, they could bump it up to 140, but I don't think that they would because that's not really something that they've done yet. So, I mean, they could do that. This could be a first, you know, these two transforming legendary units, because, you know, they're kind of like one of a kind, really. So giving them a unique 140% leader skill would be kind of cool. But what I thought would be more appropriate is to give this unit a secondary leader skill so that it kind of fits with the Vegeta. Because the Vegeta, out of these 3 transforming units, is the only one that actually has a secondary leader skill, being the superclass lead. The primary leader skill is actually pure Saiyans. So here, what we could do is have superclass lead, Ki +3, 130%, and then have the secondary lead be transformation boost, HP attack and defense +120, Ki +3. The reason why I suggest transformation boost is number one, this is literally the epitome of transforming and getting stronger as you do. So this could be a very good lead for transformation boost in the literal sense. And then number two, take a look at the transformation boost category leaders. We've got Cooler, Boo, Frieza, and then Ribrianne. We only have one superclass lead for transformation boost, and that too, it's for a unit that isn't really relevant in teams outside of Peppy Gals or maybe Universe Survival Saga. So having the transforming Goku be the new lead for transformation boost could allow for more fun teams on the super side instead of having to constantly bring a cooler leader for your team. So I feel like that actually would be a pretty good idea. Let me know in the comments. Again, with all of this is just my speculation, my thoughts. If this stuff, you know, leads to something interesting that you might perhaps have to say, feel free to let me know in the comments. I'd love to see what you guys have to say about this. So that's my leader skill that I'm going to be going with. Superclass Ki +3, 130%. Transformation boost Ki +3, 130% or 120%. Let's move on to the super attack. So the super attack stays the same from Super Saiyan 1 all the way to Super Saiyan God. Raises attack and defense, causes immense damage to the enemy. After which, when he goes Super Saiyan Blue, causes immense damage with a great chance to stun. This is probably the most annoying thing about the unit from an endgame perspective. And when I say endgame perspective, I'm talking about long form events that are escalating in nature. Things like Infinite Dragon Ball History, Legendary Goku event. Those types of events obviously require units to get stronger and more powerful over time so that they can keep up with the escalating tension from the opposition. If a unit stops stacking, maybe halfway through the battle, that can be a bit of a problem, and that's kind of the issue that this Goku presents for a lot of players for those types of events, but they kind of make up for it with the damage reduction ability. However, it's not the same. It's just not the same. So having this unit cause immense damage, great chance to stun the enemy, and then lose all defense and just have the tanking, that's not something I'm a fan of. So for the EZA, we should probably have some sort of a super attack that can kind of help cushion the blow at the end here. So raising attack and defense permanently is a pretty good start. How do you really jump up from that without making this guy overly broken? I don't think that they're going to be so bold as to greatly raise attack and defense for this unit. I really don't think so. The reason why is because the transforming Vegeta is kind of the defensive side of this coin. Goku's the offensive unit and Vegeta's the defensive one, strictly from the sense of the way that they're built, right? See, Vegeta raises defense, causes immense damage. So to kind of factor him in while also keeping in mind that Frieza exists, I feel like the Goku will greatly raise attack and raise defense. So it'll kind of be like the Kaioken AGL Goku that already has that sort of super attack in his arsenal with his EZA. So let's go check that out real quick. Right here. This is the unit that I'm talking about. With his EZA, he greatly raises attack and raises defense. I think that would be a good idea to give this Goku. So greatly raise attack, raise defense, all throughout. And then when you get to the final level, instead of just causing immense damage, I think what they should do is raise attack and defense for one turn, or maybe even greatly raise attack and defense for one turn, with a great chance to stun the enemy. I feel like that's more than fair. Right?
Okay.
And now for the passive. The passive, if you can't tell, incrementally morphs over time into what it ends up being at the end. So it starts off with a very well-rounded, balanced passive. Attack and defense plus 80%, reduces damage received by 21%. As the transformations take place, the attack goes higher, the defense drops, and the reduction of damage increases as well, but very little. So that continues. Attack plus 100, defense plus 40, attack plus 110, defense plus 20, and then ultimately attack plus 120 reduces damage received by 25%. Key plus 12 performs a critical hit once only. What I would suggest is a simple boost. Attack and defense plus 100% reduces damage received by 22. We'd start off with 1% higher on the damage reduction, and then instead of incrementally increasing the damage reduction by 1, we increase the damage reduction by 2. And that's going to play in with the fact that we're going to be greatly raising attack and defense. Having a higher base passive to begin with, and then having less of a defensive penalty over time, combined with a sizable increase in damage reduction, all of that will be noticeable. Just having it increase by 1%, 2% might seem on paper like it's very negligible, but it's pretty noticeable. We would start off with 100% attack and defense, reduce damage received by 22%. Then here, instead of attack plus 90, defense plus 60, we would bump it up to attack plus 110, defense plus 90. So instead of dropping defense by 20% per turn, we're instead dropping defense by 10%. So attack plus 110 will be gaining 10%. Defense plus 90, we're losing the 10%. Reduces damage received by 24% instead of 22. So instead of gaining 1, we're gaining 2%. And then that would continue on. Super Saiyan 3 would be attack plus 120, defense plus 40%, reduces damage received by 26%. Going to Super Saiyan God, attack plus 130%, defense plus 70%, reduces damage received by 28%. And finally, at Super Saiyan Blue, attack plus 150, reduces damage received by 30%, ki plus 12, performs a critical hit, and stuns once only. So I think that it would be nice to include a stun, guaranteed stun for the very first attack. Kind of like what happens in the anime when Goku and Frieza charge at each other and knock each other out in one hit. Kind of like that. Having a guaranteed stun for the first hit with a critical hit would actually be a pretty nice payoff for multiple turns of transforming and breaking the limit. So that's essentially what I think. The reason why I want to keep it simple is just because it's less of a strain on my brain. Because there was another suggestion that I was thinking about, which was having various turns do different things for the super attack, but I just feel like it's pointless to do that because since this unit transforms guaranteed every turn, you're not going to really be sticking around much to appreciate what the unit does in the intermediate levels. Like, for example, if we raised attack here, raise attack and defense here, then Super Saiyan 2, we would greatly raise attack and raise defense. And then Super Saiyan 3, we would raise attack and then maybe greatly raise defense, and then have all these like weird little permutations in the super attack growth pattern. It doesn't seem like it would be something worth doing. Plus, from a design perspective, that's probably going to be very annoying because, you know, this is a pretty nice, evenly distributed way to just transform the guy up the ladder all the way to Super Saiyan Blue. The only thing you really have to change is the attack at the end. And that is the power of the transforming Super Saiyan Son Goku. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like down below and let me know in the comments. What are your thoughts on a potential EZA kit for this unit? Do you agree with my Transformation Blue sub-lead? Do you agree with the super attack growth pattern with greatly raising attack so that Vegeta can then ultimately greatly raise defense? Do you feel like I'm missing anything? Feel free to let me know in the comments down below. Also, be sure to subscribe for more dope content in the future and click the notification bell so that you let YouTube know you want to see more of my stuff. Do it! Thanks again, stay tuned, and always remember to Dokkan responsibly.